the Dungeoneering Experience. Leveling only in Dungeoneering. How to get started. In order to get started with Dungeoneering, only with Dungeoneering, you create your first character. Then you head to the bank. Then you deposit everything. You won't be needing anything where you're going. You can't take anything with you into the dungeons. So deposit to the bank, and then you just run south from the bank. You just keep running south, run south. And then eventually you reach the boat to Lumbridge. Board the boat to Lumbridge. This will take you to your next destination. But there's still more running. You still have to run south from where you have arrived in Lumbridge. Run south. Run past the church. Run past the graveyard. Eventually, you'll find a dock south of Lumbridge. Eventually, you'll find the crows. Run past all the crows. You'll find the Fremennik shipmaster. Sail with the Fremennik shipmaster. He will take you to the island with the Dungeoneering. Once you arrive on the island, then you just run up these stairs. Keep running up these stairs. Don't turn back. Leave the regular world behind. Don't worry anything about the regular world. Everything's in Dungeoneering. You can level up everything here. So just keep running. Run up these stairs. Up the Frost Ice Mountains. Until you finally reach the encampment. Then, go upstairs and talk to the Dungeoneering tutor. Talk to him. He will give you the ring. He will give you the only ring that you need. The ring that will bring you into Dungeoneering. So now that you have the ring, form a party. Now you're ready. Now you're all ready just for Dungeoneering. Everything. Running your first dungeon floor. Now that you're here, now you're ready to start your Dungeoneering journey. Click to climb down the dungeon entrance. You can only do small dungeons right now. So enter your first dungeon. Complexity 1, combat only. There is no skilling. You can't do any skilling. So for your first combat floor, your first dungeon floor, all you're gonna do is run through and just kill all of the enemies. Essentially, collect all the food that's on the table. Maybe you're going to need it. Although you probably won't, but might as well just bring the food. There's nothing else you're gonna get in this dungeon. So with all of your food in hand, continue through the guardian doors, defeat all of the enemies in each of the rooms. And then maybe move around your interface. Try to find something that looks a lot neater. Essentially, there's going to be lots and lots of spiders, lots of shades, lots of ice warriors to destroy in these dungeons. It's up to you to destroy them. And the keys, you pick up the keys on the ground, and then you use them to unlock the doors in all of the rooms. You click on the doors, unlock gold rectangle key. Now you have unlocked the door. You can click on the door to see what's beyond the door. Eventually, you'll find the boss in the dungeon. He'll be behind the final door. Now you're ready for your toughest battle yet. This battle is going to take absolutely forever. You're going to be sitting there fighting him, which is why you're going to switch to Legacy later, because EOC took like a minute or two to defeat him, took so long. But once you have finally defeated your first boss, you're victorious. Now you're going to want to bind all of your equipment. Right click on your salve rope top, bind the salve rope top, bind the bottom, bind all of your armor, your ranger armor, now your weapons, bind your mage wand, your mage orb, your bow, bind your ammo, bind your arrows. Now unequip your melee gear, bind your melee armor and your melee weapon. Then you can only bind 10 items. So you have bound all 10 items. Now, leave the dungeon. You could pick up the book and read it if you want. Essentially, you could read them all. But yes, continue to the next level of the dungeon. Your first level of the dungeon is finally complete. Now, for completing this dungeon, You get all of the experience, all of the level ups. You could watch the end screen to see what everything totals to, or you could click skip. Now say you earned less experience because there's a penalty. Your second dungeoneering floor. If you want to, you can hit the escape button, go to settings, go to combat settings, switch it to legacy combat mode. Maybe you'll destroy the enemies a lot quicker. It seems a lot quicker whenever we fight this way. But form a party, head back into the dungeon. Now you're on complexity 2. Now you can do woodcutting, fishing, and cooking. So you'll be able to level up your other skills now. But if you go to bind setup, you could drag your weapons, drag your armor, set up all your things. Just drag your wand to the first place, drag your orb to the first place. Now you have your mage combat setup, drag the sword to the second bind setup. And you don't have an offhand weapon yet, but you'll get one eventually. Now drag the bow to the third bind, save. Now you have all of your things set up, your melee, your ranged, your mage. You could click on take to take your bind setup. There's another achievement done. Now that you have all of your gear ready, you're ready to start your second dungeon floor. There's going to be woodcutting, fishing, and cooking, so there's going to be a lot more to do besides just combat. Essentially, if you right click on the trader and go bind setup, you could choose one of your other setups. You should, let's take the melee setup for now. Let's start working on our melee combat. So you'll take your melee sword, and then you could equip your armor that they give you. But if you go here and trade with him, you should be able to sell everything that you don't need. Sell all the stuff that was on the table that you don't need, all the stuff that they gave you. And then you could buy feathers just in case you run into any fishing spots. You don't need anything. Essentially, just go buy 50 feathers. If you find any places to fish, then fish them out. And then chop down all the trees. Oh, all the wood cutting. If you chop down all the trees, it brings you to level 7 wood cutting. So we skipped out all the other wood cutting. It seemed it was getting pretty long, I guess. So now you've reached the final door. At the end of the dungeon, you'll come upon the boss. Once you defeat the boss, then you're going to want to teleport back home. Because there's actually skilling in complexity 2. You're going to want to run back home maybe, or teleport. Or if you trade him, sell him all of your cooked Heim crabs, sell him everything else in your inventory. Pick up all the stuff from the tables that you didn't sell before. Sell all of these items to the trader. Now you have a whole bunch of gold. You have 13,000 gold. Buy all of the raw Heim crabs that you can. Buy as many. You could buy, 63 Heim crabs. Now light the tangle grums on the ground. Now you have a fire to cook all of your Heim crabs. Now continue cooking all of your crabs until all of the crabs are cooked. Should get to level 5 cooking in no time. And then once you have cooked the Heim crabs, sell the cooked Heim crabs. And then go cook more Heim crabs. Oh, what he's doing is you can't do fletching yet. You can't do fletching, you can only do cooking. You can only cook, so just go cook the Heim crabs. Fletching is maybe next complexity. But eventually when you have cooked all of your Heim crabs, it'll bring you all the way to level 9 cooking. So just bring all your cooking levels up and you didn't even have to do anything. So just sell your cooked Heim crabs, buy as many more Heim crabs as you can until you run out of money. You just keep buying, you just keep selling cooked Heim crabs, keep buying raw Heim crabs, cook them, sell the cooked ones, buy raw ones until you've run out of money. And then once you have run out of money, then you can start working on your fire making. So you right click on the logs and then say use them on the fire, and then you'll start leveling your fire making. Now your fire making is already level 2. So your fire making's just going up like crazy, just like your cooking was. And then if you keep cooking, burning all of your logs till you have no logs left, you'll get all the way to level 7 fire making. So that's a really good start. You got lots of fishing, you got cooking, fire making, wood cutting, level 7 wood cutting, level 1 fishing. There wasn't any fishing spots in this map, so you weren't able to fish anything. But you still got level 7 wood cutting, 7 fire making, 9 cooking. Now, end the dungeon. Your second dungeon is complete. Soon, you'll be able to move on to more complex dungeons, but you advance 2 dungeoneering levels. Now you're dungeoneering level 5. You still get reduced experience because it's not a complexity 6. Your third dungeoneering floor. Now on your third dungeoneering floor, you can do mining, smithing, fletching, rune crafting. So a whole lot more skills just opened up on this complexity, but you could just run through the door. Just essentially go through, collect all of the keys, destroy all of the enemies. Oh, now you could mine. Now you could mine all the resources. Any ores that you find in the map, start to mine them and destroy any enemies that may try to stop you. Once you have once you have a whole bunch of Novites ore, go back, smith two Novite bars. You're gonna want to make yourself some melee weapons. And if you smith them on the anvil, you could make a dagger and an offhand dagger. You just want to make one of each of them. So make a 1 Novite dagger. And then create 1 Novite offhand dagger. Congratulations. Now you're going to want to bind these items. So you're going to have to go unbind, right? Destroy your rapier. You don't need that anymore. You got 2 new weapons. So if you right click and bind the dagger, bind the offhand dagger, it should tell you don't have any room to bind it. So if you go to your bind settings, you could probably just destroy all of your leggings. You don't need any leggings. You can't bind them anyways. Just keep the chest pieces. So if you drag all 3 of your pants to the garbage can, you can basically get rid of them. Now you can bind your Novite offhand dagger. There we go. Now right click, go bind setup. And then drag your 2 new weapons to your new melee slot. Now you have a main hand and an offhand. Take your bind setup. Now you'll be able to kill things so much quicker than just with the 1 rapier. Continue through the dungeon. As you continue mining, you should get your mining levels. Now you're ready. Mining level 2, I think it was. And wood cutting will keep going up. You're getting level 8 wood cutting already. And level 9 wood cutting. That tree just gave you 2 levels essentially. Oh, here's the boss. Get ready for the boss. So you're going to want to go back home, go sell everything. Maybe buy some feathers. Oh, buy some feathers because you actually found a fishing spot. Now you can start leveling up your fishing. Although your fishing didn't go up, but you did find some fish to fish anyways. You could use them for cooking. Now that you have a bunch of food ready, go and destroy the boss. Now that the boss has been destroyed, there's still so much to do, so teleport back home. Then you want to trade the trader. Pick up all of the things off of the tables, sell them, because you don't really need anything. Pretty much sell everything you don't need, get gold for it. Because then you're going to be crafting with it. Essentially, you can just sit here and sell everything and then just buy resources and then craft resources. So you can start working on your cooking. Cook the Heim crabs that you have cooked. Those will bring you to level 10 cooking. And then smith all the Novite ores that you have mined. You've mined 10 of them, plus the 2 that you had before, so you mined 12 ores. That's pretty good. This will increase your smithing level. So the bars, they give 7 experience each. That's pretty good. And then when you smith them, they give 10 experience. So 17 per bar. Now you're already level 2 smithing. It's already way up there. Now you're gonna want to make Novite arrowheads. Novite arrowheads are going to give you the most money return for your investment. They won't give you the best experience. Well, they do give nearly the best experience. Now you're already level 3 smithing just for doing absolutely nothing. So you'd want to sell your Novite arrowheads, sell all of them, and then you're going to want to buy Novite ores. Buy as many Novite ores as you could buy. You could buy, 14 of them? 14 Novite bars. Then you're just going to smelt the Novite bars. And then eventually you'll want to smith the Novite bars into more Novite arrowheads. Essentially, Novite arrowheads would be the best thing to smith all the time. All of the ore that you mine in these dungeons, smith them into arrowheads. Now you're already level 5 smithing. Oh, level 5 smithing. Yes, by the time if you just keep selling your arrowheads and then just buying more ores and then just smithing them, you should get to level 5 smithing. Now you have fletching. Fletch all of your tangle grums into bows, although it's really slow if you let it do it normally. So if you click on the tangle glum, press the space bar, you'll be able to fletch so much faster. Sell all of your bows, sell all of your Novite arrowheads, and then with your money you're just probably going to want to buy more Novite ores. So trade with the trader. Oh, you could accidentally drop them. That's right. If you accidentally drop them, pick them up. So buy as many Novites as you could buy. There's another 7 by the looks of it. Yes, continue doing this until you have no more money left. It should bring you to level 6 smithing. So just continue selling and buying Novite heads. Just keep doing this. This is pretty much the strategy for this floor. Pretty much just get your smithing up as high as you can. Buy the ore, smithy bars, sell the arrowheads. Now leave the dungeon after you were done everything. Now you can move on to the next dungeon floor. Now you've learned so many things. Now you're dungeoneering level 6. Your 4th dungeon floor. So now that you're on the next complexity, you could do hunting, farming, and crafting. So a whole bunch more skills just opened up. You want to go trade the smuggler. You're going to want to go buy 50 feathers. You're going to want to buy feathers in case you find any places to fish. So continue through the dungeon. Destroy any of the enemies in the dungeon. Collect any salve nettles. This will increase your farming levels. Then collect any fishing spots. This will increase your fishing levels. Now you're fishing level 3. And if you keep fishing, maybe you'll even go up to fishing level 4, right? So go to fishing level 4 here. Maybe. But you get so much experience for catching the fish down here. Levels up so quick. And it's inside the dungeon. Now you're fishing level 4. Congratulations. Now, continue through the dungeon, defeat the boss. He should be defeated a whole lot easier this time. So, return back home, loot the table, sell everything on the table to the vendor, trade, sell everything. This way, you could rebuy things to craft with. So you just sell everything you don't need, and then you rebuy things that you do need. So you just go trade. You could level up your fire making when you light the log, and then cook all of your fish that you have fished. This will bring your cooking level up. Now you're level 11 cooking. If you continue cooking all of your fish, you should just keep leveling up. Sell all of your cooked fish. Now you're going to want to buy a tangle glum if you don't have any. Now you could craft bows. Make a tangle glum short bows. Start leveling up your crafting a little bit. Your fletching. Use the same trick where you click on the log and then press spacebar. Now click on the spinning wheel. This will spin any of the salve needles that you have collected. You could use these to level up crafting. Trade with the trader. You're gonna want to buy some thread. Now you can craft the salve thread into shoes. Start crafting shoes. Once you level up, start crafting boots. Oh, you're crafting gloves at the beginning. Start crafting gloves, and then once you level up, start crafting boots. And then once you level up, just sell everything that you have crafted to the trader. Get some gold back to buy some other things. And basically sell anything else you can't use. Now buy a whole bunch of Novite ore. Buy as much Novite ore as you can. It's like you could only buy 7, but maybe we've been leveling up. Maybe this is just the end of the clip. Or maybe we haven't leveled up. Essentially, any Novite that you have mined, use it. This will bring you to level 7 smithing. So you must have just been buying Novite and then smithing the Novite arrowheads and then selling the arrowheads, buying Novite ore, smithing arrowheads, selling arrowheads. This will get you to smithing level 8. So it just gives you super quick smithing levels. So then you're gonna want to go trade to the smuggler, sell the arrowheads, and then just sell all the feathers. Pretty much you don't need anything, right? Just keep selling arrowheads, getting gold. It's a perfect strategy. Buy more Novite ores, smith Novite ores into arrowheads. So this floor is pretty easy, right? Once you get smithing up, you're going to want to be working on other skills, but for now, if you just keep working on smithing, you should get to level 9 smithing on this floor. It was so easy. So now you want to leave the dungeon. You're done this dungeon floor. Once you run out of money and you can't really buy anything from the vendor anymore and level anything up, you leave the dungeon. Now you got 3 dungeoneering levels. Now you're level 8 dungeoneering. Your 5th dungeon floor. So this is going to be complexity 5. We just ran to the end of the dungeon. In this dungeon, you can start doing farming. So any cave potato seeds that you picked up from the enemies, plant them in the pots. And then go back home, use all of your Novite ore to create arrowheads, sell the arrowheads. And maybe you'd want to level up fletching. So all of the logs that you cut from the trees, fletch them into the highest thing you can, which would be bows, and then craft all of your Novite ores into arrowheads. This will level your smithing even further. Now you're level 11 smithing already. Jeez, level 11 smithing. Smithing just goes up so insanely quick. That's why you're in Dungeoneering, because if you're in Dungeoneering, you can level up Dungeoneering while leveling up absolutely everything else. And it keeps getting better later too. This is only the introduction, right? So just sell all of your arrowheads. Your bows, do we buy bowstrings or do we just sell the bows like that? Oh, it looks like we do. So might as well just go buy some bowstrings for your bows and then fletch your bows together. That'll just give you a little bit more experience from all of them. So if you just click on the logs and then hit the spacebar button, it'll be quicker. I think we're showing how slow it is if you don't do it that way. Now, once they have all been fletched, should nearly be a fletching level, but sell all of your bows, buy Novite ores, sell the herbs, because you can't level herbalism until you get to level 3 herbalism. So just continue buying Novite ores, turning them into Novite arrowheads, selling the arrowheads. Eventually it should increase your smithing level. Yes, eventually you should be level 12 smithing. So this is only the 5th dungeon floor. This is a small dungeon. You're not going to get too many resources, but your potatoes have probably been grown, so you might as well go pick the potatoes. This will increase your farming level a little bit. Oh, and there's a second patch over here too, right? We had 2 cave potato seeds, so we just planted 2 plots of potatoes. These potatoes are going to fill your inventory quick, so you need lots of room to pick them up. Now, once you return home, you could cook the potatoes on a fire. This will give you a bit more cooking experience. This will bring you all the way to level 13 cooking. And then I think you just sell the potatoes, and then buy Novite ores with the money. Right? Oh, you can't sell ashes. He doesn't want the ashes. So basically, Novite ores all that you really want then. You just want 4 Novite ores. You just want to make arrowheads. Essentially, it's going to change a bit later. Later, you're going to be working on other skills. Now, once you're broke, you're out of money, you can't afford anymore, you could leave the dungeon. So now you're done all of the base complexities. Now you can move to base complexity 6, and you can do larger dungeons. So once this is complete, it says the tutorial is done. You basically learned all the basics of dungeoneering. You've gone up to 11 dungeoneering, so it's at 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 3 dungeoneering levels.